posing to Simon. Essentially, I'm trying to see whether there is also an evolving role in terms of HR in organizations. Is HR becoming more and more part of this whole business strategy, where they have to help to think of how they can mobilize the people, think of how they mobilize the skills, and also manage this possible firing of people, and how they can probably redesign jobs. Yeah, these are just some questions that I have on my mind. You have a question?
Okay, you're talking about bringing the automation, right? Like for example, robots or special area that I think most of the Singaporeans are not familiar with. These are very high technology that I think Singapore doesn't. Either Japan, America, they are quite good in all the robotics, and we only picking up recently, right? So I think most of us here, adults, we are not into that area as well. So just now he was saying, Mr. Daryl was saying that we should be coming in to train the people, SMEs or whatever company we are going into getting all these. Mentioning that there's a company to chase all these things. So if we ourselves are not familiar in this area of the thing, like the robots or the automation that they brought in, so where do we, the Singaporeans, TAE people stand, or how are we going to do all these jobs? Because at the end of the day, I see that whoever are providing all these automations or robots to the company, they will have their own trainers, right, to educate their people. So where do we come in, or how do we come in that aspect? Thanks.
Thank you. I think the question you're really asking is, do adult educators really need the skills of IT, robotics, all these automation, and is it necessary for them to be able to have these skills to exist in future? I think that's really your question that you're asking. Daryl?
Okay. One is you will need to use technology, all right, in your own industry, whether it's another mode of delivery beyond face-to-face classroom-based teaching, right? Now, if you want to continue with face-to-face, you can, and there will be a need and demand for it. No issue. If you want to, and if you're a freelancer and you want to bring in more revenue for you and your family, then you might want to look at webinars and how to use webinars and how to use and build virtual classrooms and partner with organizations that have this technology, and then start to build your skill sets so you can add that to your skills to bring in further revenue as a freelancer. Those are opportunities, all right? And we need you to take on those opportunities. Polytechnics and universities will be looking at blended learning and open learning and more technology, and they all will train you to prepare for that. But it's about choices, right? So I think all of that really comes down to you. Now, the skills future framework for the TAE sector is developed with all of you. So there's an opportunity to get that clarity, and there will be sessions and discussions around this technology, right? And we do need to be educated. So we need more clinics and workshops to know what this technology can do, and if we're interested in actually taking that into our toolkit to add to our skills, so we are ready and future-proofing ourselves. So I think that's number two. But it comes down to, three is we need this, we need to do this, because we don't have enough of us to deliver. The demand is there, right? So we're going to have to help enable ourselves and prepare this sector to be part of this growth of a smart nation in Singapore. So it's our duty, I believe.
If I may add as well, I think when I asked myself 11 years back, do I want to be a specialist or be an expert in curriculum development, developing training programs, or do I want to be a trainer? I asked myself that question, and I think that the concept of the skills architect resonates with me. The changing demands of the industry has made me change and adopt and ask myself, what value add can I provide to the people who are using my service in that sense, or are working with me? So I think as an adult educator, it's important for you to ask yourself constantly, what can I provide? Because I think with technology, people are probably going to be less inclined to classroom training, yeah, probably. If it is available online, if it's available free online, I probably wouldn't go for a classroom session, right? So I think the question there is, what else can you provide as an adult educator? Are you able to advise the person on his or her career because of what you have gone through, because of the experience that you have? Are you able to advise on that particular business that is coming to you, asking you, what can I do with all these skills, or what can I do with this particular thing that you're covering today in my business? They won't get that off a webinar, yeah, unless of course it's something that is very interactive, but usually not from a webinar. Yeah, so that's how I would think. Rich?
I don't think we can know everything on anything, and some things, especially those that are technically deep, we do need. People can probably do it a lot better than we do if you're not in the space. But I do think that we need to know at least a little bit about a little bit of everything in a sense, right? So if you are in the space of helping businesses, then you do need to know the business. Right? You're not going to learn everything about the business overnight, but if you have that ongoing, bit by bit, as you talk to different people in the organization, and you start to learn. So we've seen this happen because we run a program called Certified Workplace Training Specialists, and these are AEs, and they might not have the domain expertise matched to the same, the same domain expertise as the organization they are working with. But they pick it up, and we see that it's always been, it's doable. You don't need to know to the nth degree every little technical thing that's happening in your organization. But you have appreciation, you know how things work, you know the business processes, you know the terminologies that they use. Sometimes I think that's pretty handy, and it's good enough, because really from say your clients or from the organization perspective, they don't expect you to know everything anyway, because they know that you come from external perspective, and there's only so much that they can expect you to do. So I don't think we need to be too hard on ourselves and say, well, I really got to go into. But at the same time, we do need to know a little bit now. So things like analytics. Now that is definitely something that is going to change everything. AI, and all this. All businesses are going to it because it helps to inform their way forward. Helps them to think about whether what they're doing is right, or how to get the next customer, things like that. So we have to actively get our fingers a little bit wet. I have to do that myself. I have to learn things like all cloud-based technologies. Yesterday we were drawing a geofence, using some location-based things. Very simple things like not deep at all. I don't know how to code, but at least I must have an appreciation of such things. So I guess we cannot know very well, but we do need to develop.
I mean, from my point of view, it's about opportunity. So you can have, you can be a subject matter expert, you can be an adult educator in one subject, right? And you're a specialist, like law. That's fine. If you want to have building blocks of new skills and you get excited by that and you want to start to specialize in that, there's opportunity. And I see this as a wonderful opportunity to build your skills, to find further passions, and then start to move in that area. The jack of all trades, I think, as adult educators, we would We've got a little bit of this, a little bit of that, will continue, but others will morph and it will grow and they will build even a business around that. And that will just morph. That's what happened to me. I was an academic for 11 years, then I ran a PEI, and then I went into HR, and then I set up my own businesses in Singapore, and then I became a consultant. I've had 5 careers, right? Most of us in this room probably will have 2 or 3, but millennials will have 10 to 14 careers, all right? And we have an opportunity, if we wanted, to have more careers within the TAE sector in terms of tracks and specialization. And I think it's an opportunity, and there will be people in this room that will be in a completely different role within the sector in the next 2 to 3 years, guaranteed. And I think that's good.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's well put. But in regards to this question, I mean, do we have to? I think this was somewhere along the line. So I think that everybody has to some extent. Technology changes, the way that we do work changes. If you know, even in my work, which is not adult educating, it's research, but things change. There is new technologies, there's new software to do new ways of doing research, and I can close my eyes. This is one option. You know, and if you close your eyes, you're going to wake up one day and you're irrelevant. You know, so let's not close that. Let's not do that. The other option is, do we let it happen organically? You know, so I mean, this piece of software or this technique here just naturally evolves, and I learn how to do it when I do it, or do we place a little bit more focus on which direction we're going to go? And that's really, I think, the question is how much focus do you want to just stop, reflect a little bit, ask where you want to be and what you want to be doing. And I think that's, Daryl, what you're sort of saying, as opposed to just letting it carry you away or closing your eyes and getting carried away by you.
Can I ask a question, maybe to Daryl?
Which Daryl?
I think double R Daryl, Daryl Senior. One of the domains is the research track of the to be transformed adult educator. What is the thinking behind that? Why is research important?
Okay, I think, well, we need to know more, right? And most of the time we need evidence. So we need to do research to understand whether we're going in the right direction, and is it validated based on fact and judgment. It's like piloting something before we go and embark on rolling something out. So we need more researchers in the TAE sector for ourselves around analytics, around what's the ROI and how long does it take. So there'll be specialists, and some of us in this room will become researchers in that space, guaranteed. I used to be a researcher, right? So it depends on your background, your skill sets, your ambitions. Do you have a master's? Do you have a PhD? Do you want to do a PhD and then actually pursue a career in that space? That is the question that I put to you. But I really do think that we need more research in this sector, and we can't just rely on academics and universities, right? We need practitioners who understand and do more applied research, more action learning, more qualitative research, rather than just quantitative. So I think that's an opportunity to actually grow into a track. Whether it's a big part of the sector or is it just going to be 8%, but it will be a critical one for us to leverage off and grow.
Yeah, we learned this term when we went to Hong Kong for a study trip last year. It's called academic. So practitioner, academic. People who, you're practitioners, but you're really trying to make your craft more informed, more evidence-based, more research-informed. So academic is, if you say the verb of academicing, it sounds a bit like panicking. But and I think that is very apt. I totally agree with that. That is something that, is for us to uplift our role, our profession. It's something that we need to go into. Not just doing it, but really thinking about why we are doing it. Yeah.
I mean,
Then for
the Institute of Adult Learning comment about pedagogical innovation, right? So for me, that's critical. That is absolutely a critical skill to develop. because you need to be innovative, you need to think differently. We're moving, in Europe they do a lot of research in this space. They've moved from teacher-student to more community learning. If you look at Finland, they only do 20 hours in primary schools because they create an inquisitive mindset at a very young age. So most of their learning is done outside the classroom. And they have the #1 education system in the world. They've abolished curricula in Finland. All right? They are teaching mathematics, communication, and community in a cafe for 2 months. And they're learning by doing. They're not in a classroom looking at formulas and numbers and proofing mathematical, right? It's gone. They're actually practically applying their learning. And there's a big opportunity for us to get involved in that here in Singapore and in Asia.
Just a quick one, Simon. Any advice for AEs who are looking to,
Run.
to do research and apply research?
Well, I'm a quantitative researcher.
I'm a qualitative researcher.
Yeah. So there it is. I mean, research is great, and I think the more important is the role of research in the way that you think, and having a sort of evidence-based mindset about the way that you do things and so forth. So being informed by research, definitely doing the research yourself. Yeah, I mean, if this is something you find interesting and it's something you want to do, then of course that's a fantastic thing. From a quantitative perspective, you just want to be relatively good with numbers, and that's the main from the fundamental skills perspective. Other than that, you're learning techniques, and it's like any other occupation. From a qualitative perspective, I'm not sure. I mean, it's a similar set of skills.
You still need numbers.
Well, you need to actually know something about it. No, I mean, but yeah, having a mindset that, having been exposed to research, it does change your mindset.
Before that, I think this is something also I want to add. I mean, it's close to my heart as well. I think with this whole changing times and the speed of knowledge moving around and this disruptive things becoming more productive, I think there is this other concept that with productivity, quality is compromised. Logical? Right? With speed, we have to think about quality, right? So there will be increase in error rates. Of course, if it is mitigated by robotics and machines, that's fine. But there needs to be that additional skill to really question what are we doing in adult education, that quality mindset, that evidence-based that Simon was talking about, to make sure that whatever we're trying to drive through the whole training and adult education sector, if it is still called training and adult education sector, is right. And what is it based on? Is it based on predictions? Are we going to become fortune tellers, or is it based on real evidence of what is happening and the trends that's evolving? Hi.
Hi, I'm Agnes Woon, and I want to say that I've just recently left employment, and I've also graduated as an ACTA trained and enrolled for days. Now my question is that as an AE now that I'm actually going into a transformation consultancy services, what would you have up for all the AEs who are freelance to be able to transition between what they are doing to what is expected in the next 5 to 10 years? It sounds exciting because it suits what I'm doing, because I'm with a quality background, Lean Six Sigma, and coaching and training. So my question now is, where are the funding? Where are the job opportunities? Would there be a matchmaking kind of facilitation from an IAL perspective?
I'll let you answer.
Well, because we are, IL is in a very interesting position because we are industry blind, right? So you can imagine the difficulty that we will face if we will go into job placement, because we have to have our hands in every industry part, right? From manufacturing to healthcare. So if you come from, say, productivity background, so productivity, say, manufacturing, and we get our space, get our hands involved in the manufacturing space, it's going to be near impossible for us, honestly speaking, because we are industry blind. Right? So what we do is we look after the capability development needs of the TAE sector. But of course, I take your point. It is something that we, hand to heart, we have asked ourselves this question over the years. Every time, ACTA graduate goes out, what happens? And that's something we do try to find out. We have surveys at the end of every year. In our informal ways, we try to get some information. But to come back to the real act of job placement, it's going to be tough. But we try to support. Now, you have things like AE career advisors, who are established freelance AEs. They might not know the domain that you're in, but they can share they can ask good questions, find out what your motivations are, because everything has to be aligned, right? It's not just about placing you in a job or giving you some gigs. It's about what is it that you could get out of this next stage of your career, right? This new career that you're embarking on. So some form of advisory, some form of conversation has to take place at that level before you can say, okay, so I think this is a natural next step. And I'm fortunate in Singapore, when things don't go well, the first thing is to ask the government, what can you do for me now? Right? So I guess, now I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing, the government do have a job, does have a job to play, in keeping employment high. But at the same time, there's also the resourcefulness, as mentioned, the landscape is changing so fast that there's no way that we can even know how or where to place somebody, right? Because it's just very dynamic. So the good news is, among all these things, the good news is, when I talk to the AEs, when I talk to the practitioners, I see bubbling many different kinds of ideas, and some of them they follow through. So you see people going international, going to Myanmar, going to Cambodia, and it's really, it depends a lot on your situation that you're in. What kind of commitments do I have? What kind of life stage am I in? Do I have buffer for how long? Right? These are real questions, very practical questions. And then you see some people going into, say, I never liked standing in front of a crowd anyway. So let's find a way to get behind the scenes, to go into, say, designing certain things, products for learning, or designing very customized kind of learning programs, for my clients. Now, the options are plenty. It's just a matter of then how do I, number one, know what kind of opportunities there are out there, and then to have the bravado to capitalize, to say, let me try. And on that note, then I would say, actually increasingly we're going towards a sharing economy. You see that happening, right? It's really about, it's no longer about ownership, it's about access. It's about coming together as a community. If you're one person, it's very hard to survive. It's you're me against the world. But if we band together, that's my rallying call. And I think it's fantastic to have platforms like this, iN.LAB, we have AEN, at IL. These are communities that you can plug in with. SIGs, SIG. James is here. Right, the whole purpose of having all these communities is not just about learning, but to plug in and then band together. And I know this because I see that there's an introduction, next thing you know, something is happening. Two people are working together to do a project or something, or start a new line of business. So the approach that we should take is not so much what the government can do for you, but what we can do as a community. Right? And then where, of course, we can come, IL can come in to help, so these are platforms. But beyond that, talk to each other, know each other, you never know what can come up.
I can give you some career advice. Because if we look at the 20,000 workforce in this sector, half of the workforce are adult educators. And a lot of those were freelancers, right? In my own business, I had 40 freelancers, right? before I joined Willis Towers Watson. And I ran, a leadership consulting business and assessment center. And these people were working for themselves, and I brought them in. So one is to build the alliances and partnerships, that shared community. Approach them. But what's your value? Are you a classroom-based facilitator? Or can you do that, and can you do webinars? And do you have an understanding of these learning platforms as a virtual classroom facilitator as well? So that you can then add value and differentiate yourself to all the other actor qualified individuals in the marketplace. Because we need these people to differentiate yourself.
Oh, I also want to add, I liken ourselves as adult educators as first aiders. Think about that. When someone is in need of a career, I think that's where our roles as adult educators will be going to them and talking to them about how you should be acquiring certain skills to be able to fit the job that you might be having difficulties in. You might be talking to companies again, companies who are in a situation of the unknown. How can they go about using skills to manage that business? Things like that. So I kind of liken us as first aiders in the future. Interesting. It just came to my mind actually. Okay, let's have one last question. Yes. I have a gentleman.
Hi, my name is Henry. I'm also an adult educator, but I focus more on HR. Maybe just two comments first. Two things that probably we are quite sure about. First is AI. And AI is not something new, we all know. It's as far back, it was coined in 1952, something like that. And now I think we are in the second wave of AI. The second wave of AI means that machines are getting smarter, and they're learning machines. They don't do routine work anymore. They can do much more things, including creative work that we never could imagine. So that's the first trend that we're looking at. And along with that, of course, companies are definitely looking at more innovative way and cheaper way of getting things done. Now, come with AI, companies will definitely want to invest in machines, equipment, and technology. Now, if you look at that, many of the things that can be done by machine, and I think Daryl just want to talk about decomposition of job. This term job eventually will lose its value because all our job can be broken down into tasks, and all the tasks can be taken over by machines. That means if you look at this trend, likely that the fact is many people would definitely be displaced because companies do not need as many people as in the past. All right. So then the next thing, of course, what can these people do? So probably from a TAE sector is the trend likely is people will be moving on to become micro entrepreneur, right, or freelancer. And in fact, this is likely to be the trend. So one of the things I think for me as TAE sector is how do I help these individuals to sell their values and skill as an individual rather than as an employee? And second thing, from the HR point of view is I need to educate my HR practitioners no longer have such thing called full-time employment. Forget of drafting full-time employment contract. They need to learn new skills. How do I now bring in this new skill of developing agreement, a contract for this new group of people that I work with, which are called a freelancer and so on and so forth. No longer full-time employment. So this is something that I think we can look at, maybe just to hear some of the comment from the rest.
A couple of thoughts there. So I completely agree with what you said. The HR practitioners' roles will evolve as well. They will need emerging competencies to deal with all of this change, to understand the deconstruction and the reconstruction of roles. If automation is going to replace certain tasks that are done by certain job families and occupations and roles, what will they then develop the skills in those areas of those people based on their own motivation, all right, and their own needs of the business. So what are the most vulnerable parts of the business? Generally will be looked at to bring in automation. Those that are the building blocks that strengthen the business will also be automated. HR will play a role to support and enable that, but they will be also taking a role to look at what are they doing with their talent to build their skills to better position growth for their business. And it's not so much displacing people. I don't see that as the key driver. The research has confirmed this. It's a myth, all right? It's a myth. Only a small percentage of businesses are displacing individuals. And I believe they have a responsibility with government to prepare people. HR will play an enabler role as well and provide maybe some career advisory or support, or they will outsource that depending on what skill set and what role they will play. So HR, for me, will need to reconsider their own operating model. They will need to look at, become more of a business partner, all right? They will need to become more of a change manager. They will need to look at borrowing and build buying skills more than just building skills. So they will also need to transform their skills in the future as well. And they won't be the only people responsible for preparing people outside their business, all right? Because that's not enabling their business to grow. That's preparing somebody outside. They will play a co-facilitation role in that. Government and the business will need to look at outsourcing that to another provider, I think.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure I totally understood the question, but I think it is, there's a genuine question there. Because I'm not so saying one about automation as you are, but it will create some precariousness in the system. And these workers who don't have skills, if they don't have high-level skills, and I don't necessarily mean technical skills that you can teach someone just here or there, I mean a university degree. You know, a good high school diploma and a university degree, people who don't have these things, when they lose their job, you could say, oh, you should become a micro-entrepreneur. This is just another word for precarious employment, really. I mean, it's a fancy word, it sounds good, but actually, an Uber driver, he's working for himself, yeah, but this is low-level work, and it can be actually, Uber have gotten into a lot of trouble in a lot of places, because really this is just exploiting a lot of these workers. So I think there are genuine questions there about what this gig economy really means. I'm not being all negative about it, but
Okay, I don't know if you watched a movie called The Hidden Features, but it was set in 1961 at NASA, right? It's about 3 African-American women. And one of these women saw that the secretaries were going to lose their jobs to automation, and all the mathematicians that had the best degrees from the top universities were no longer needed because computers were going to do the formulas in seconds for landing calculations and all of this. And this is a true story, set in 1961. Do you think these people are sitting there and not having a job? No. No. They are transferring their skills and finding another job required that didn't exist until 2 or 3 years later, just like tomorrow. Remember, 65% of children entering primary school today will be in a job that doesn't exist today. So people will continue to learn. We will continue to evolve as a society. We will develop skills, competencies for sectors and industries within every country, and people will evolve into those roles like society will, and we will survive. So I don't believe people will be sitting at home and the economy will collapse. We will continue to evolve and learn, but we should learn based on what we are motivated and passionate about. And I see this as an opportunity and a choice that we all have.
Thank you, Daryl. So let me just quickly sum up the whole thing and also address a bit about what you just mentioned. I think, and also to conclude what we had just discussed about. So today what we have just discussed about is about the rising importance of TAE sector in Singapore, the evolution of us from ACTA and DAYS, people who are proliferating the WSQ system, into this whole concept of us becoming really a business catalyst, a change manager, a career developer, a business consultant, micro entrepreneur, I think these roles, like what Daryl had just mentioned, these opportunities are growing. And this sector is becoming very, very important. I don't think there will be no roles for us to play down the next 20, 50 years, who knows. Yeah? So thank you very much again to this very distinguished panel. Before we end, let me just ask each of these members here to give us 3 words to take away. Okay, 3 different words to take away for us to take home. Starting with Daryl.
Oh, 3 words. I'm not very good at just 3 words, to be honest. Okay, one word probably is actually passion. I'm a strong believer in pursuing your passion, and you will be motivated to learn, and you become a lifelong learner, right? Now, we are industry practitioners, and we believe in education, we believe in lifelong learning. So follow your passion, and you will not go wrong.
Okay, 3 words.
Oh, that was more than 3 words.
No, I'm done.
That was 1 word for that.
Listen, I think that's very important. Listen, observe, and seize.
I think, learn about technology. It's here, it's not going anywhere. There's going to be more and more. The more familiar we get with it, the more we start to, it's a powerful thing, and we can make a lot of it.
With that, shall we give a round of applause to our...
Okay, thank you very much for the insights and amazing perspectives. My takeaway from it is that it is a period of time of opportunity, great opportunity. And I think the calling as educators, there will be many people counting on us, many organizations, segments of the workforce that will be counting on us. So great takeaways. Thank you very much, Daryl, Richie, Iman, and thank you all for your great questions. See you again soon. Thanks.